Welcome to the family with
Officer Dave.
And Andy Brown Bernard.
Josh will be here any minute. God,
Yep.
I just missed. If I had worn a white shirt, red, white, and blue, I just missed it with gray.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Well, Josh will come in orange or blue or something. So.
That's probably true. So what's happening?
Same old, man. What's new down there?
Just Kath and I have been watching a different Christmas movie every night, and some we never heard of. What's a thing last night called 8-Bit Christmas that was really good. But these kids that wanted Andy, you'd love it because it was about kids that wanted the original Nintendo.
And Melissa and I watched it last year.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I thought it was good too.
Kind of fun? Is it one of those fun Christmas?
It was a lot less of like Nintendo fan service than I was expecting.
Okay.
I was expecting like a ton of references to like the
Right.
NES, but it's really not. It's more about like the whole zeitgeist of, it's one of those like relatable for every generation things where every kid in the world wants this toy and it's sold out everywhere and they want to get it and they go through all these, hoops to try to get it and, that sort of thing. So it's not really so much about the NES as it is about, wanting the big thing.
So how much were they back then, Andy?
Not much.
But
I mean, there's also been quite a bit of inflation.
Yeah.
Let's see. How much was the NES new? The launch price of every major game console. NES adjusted for inflation would be $430. So
$430 now.
A decent amount, yeah.
It was $100, wasn't it?
180.
Well, see,
back then?
Yeah. Well, it was the first like big video game console.
True.
So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they. I mean, you think that was expensive? God, some of these were. What was the Neo Geo? Let's see, Neo Geo price at launch. $650 in 1990 money.
You know what's amazing about that? Well, Andy, you know Joseph's. You love Joseph's down here. Andy loves Sprouts and Joseph's. Those are his two stores right there.
The grocery stores.
But I've noticed something. Catherine and I we buy a New York strip steak, a New York strip.
Yep.
And cut it in half because it's a big steak, so we can each have half of one.
Mm-hmm.
But even one of those from a grocery store now, one steak is now $30.
Ouch.
Jesus, that's
well, they
expensive.
are like 3-pounders, but they're
not that big, but they got some size to them. You're right. But yeah, I mean, it's just I never thought. Kath and I go to lunch now, and it's like $100 for lunch. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, we've recently taken to buying meat from our local butcher.
Oh yeah,
one right there in town.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. They got steaks and chicken. They got pork.
Well, you got one of the best meat markets in the world at Macinthune's out there, and
oh yeah, we go there all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yep.
Really good spot.
I have to take a trip once a year out to Brownton. We'll get a half and kind of split it with the kids a little bit.
Yeah, we did that 2 years ago, but then Ethan turned off our freezer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was not fun.
That.
And of course, Melissa had to like throw all of that meat away while I had to go to work. So it's like it was an extra fun day for her. Yeah, we lost quite a bit of meat that day.
Way to go, Ethan. Do you let him out of his cage anymore at night?
I duct taped the control for the
there you go.
For the freezer, and we have a sensor on it now.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I love about it, Officer Dave, is he and I, when he's around, he and I are really, really, but if I'm not in the same room with him, I don't want to talk to him. It's like, what? What do you mean you don't want to talk to me? I don't want to talk to Bop. It's like, when did that come on, Andrew?
I don't know. He's just in a weird mood all the time lately.
Is he?
Yeah, he's at that age.
He told me he loved me last time I saw him in person, but now it's like, get away from me.
Going through the toddler years right now.
Yep.
He's transitioning from toddlerhood to childhood.
Yeah.
It's always very rough.
I suppose that is true.
Yep.
I saw somebody wandering around behind Andy.
There's another person in the studio now.
You were right. He is wearing orange or salmon, I suppose that would be.
Salmon, is that a salmon color?
It is a salmon color. It is
So
a
we got-
variation on red.
There you have it. You and Officer Dave tee up. Well, and actually, Andy and I are blue and gray, so that matches too. So we've matched very well today.
There
I
we
thought.
go. Without coordinating prior to walking into the studio.
So, Josh, when do American Jews start pissing and moaning about Christmas? Is it about another 5 days from now?
I think it's been about 2,000 years.
The greatest.
Why am I going to be pissing and moaning about Christmas? It's a holiday of lights. Hanukkah is a holiday of lights. Hanukkah starts this year on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
My daughter used to say, Hanukkah is a holiday of lights. It's a festival of lights.
Festival of lights.
We light candles
Mm-hmm.
to commemorate the oil that was found in the temple by the Maccabees that was supposed to last one day. It lasted 8.
Mm-hmm.
Hanukkah is a celebration of a victory in war.
There you go.
It's a festival of lights. In any case, my daughter said, "Why can't we have lights on our house like everybody else in the neighborhood?" And my wife said, "We're Jews. we can only have candles." So we lit the holiday lights.
There you go.
They have to
But
be.
I think-
don't they have to be oil lamps though to be truly authentic?
Truly authentic, it should be oil.
Mm-hmm. But it's
But-
kind of hard to find oil lamps these days.
It
They
is
just don't make 'em like they
very
used to.
hard. The last oil lamp that I had, I kind of rubbed it. The genie popped out.
Oh, there you go. Glad to hear it, the genie.
Yes.
It's just not worth the hassle.
So do you, like every Jew I ever grew up with in North Minneapolis, when you walk by the Goyim house, Goyish Anachas.
No,
You don't?
no,
Gentile pleasures, Goyish Anachas. I
No.
love it.
don't do that. Kind of like to drive around after we've had Chinese food
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
because they're the only restaurants typically that are open on Christmas.
Hmm.
They and the movie theaters.
Yes.
So typically driving around looking at the holiday lights.
Yep.
Yep.
And the light shows in certain neighborhoods are unbelievable.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
one near us in Delano. It's a guy, he's like an electrical engineer or something, and he has a radio station that you can tune to. It's got like, 100-foot radius or whatever the
Mhm.
legal limit is. But you tune to the radio station, and then you can go to his website and request songs. And then the lights on his house sync up to the songs.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
cool.
it must take him 2 months a year to set up because he doesn't leave it up all year round. I don't
Uh-huh.
think they take it all down. So it's like, can you imagine how much work that is just to
That's
put
nuts.
everything back up and everything? But
Ugh.
That's not.
it's a big deal.
Where I used to work, they used to take horse-drawn carriages around to look at the people's lights displays in the.
Yeah, we did that with Melissa's dad last year.
And then people really get into those luminaires, the candle and the paper sacks,
Oh yeah,
and they'll line an entire you
Yep.
know, 3 mile stretch of the city streets with those things. It's kind of cool.
It is cool.
But,
I think
yeah.
it's,
Yep.
it's tremendous.
Yep.
Why
No doubt about it.
Why should you be the only ones that are celebrating?
Yeah, I know.
We can celebrate
The
too.
birth of the guy that you killed.
Oh! He just starts.
they're celebrating for a different reason. Enemy defeated.
I just had to do it. I've been sitting on that one for a while, Josh.
But see, this is my
You see,
childhood.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You're
Absolutely.
embarrassed. I'm laughing. Your face is as red as
Is
your
my
shirt.
shirt. I know it is. It happens all the time.
But I just love that stuff. In the neighborhood, we would talk to, the Jewish kids. There were some Protestant kids, Catholic kids, we had a ball talking about all that stuff. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yep. No, it's
I
cool.
mean, I thought it was great. When I was little, you'd go over to somebody's house Christmas Day just to see what they got.
Yeah.
And if Hanukkah happened to fall then, I'd take my one gift that I got, per day.
Yeah.
It could have socks one day,
Mhm.
underwear one day, a shirt one day. A big thing was
They just give you an outfit one day at a time.
parts of the outfit one day at a
Just
time.
parts of the outfit.
What is the rule for when Hanukkah starts?
Sundown.
But I mean, like the
Oh.
first day. What's the first day of Hanukkah?
Does it go by the moon phases?
Yeah,
must.
so moon is the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar.
Okay.
Mhm. It's like the first new moon after whatever the hell.
So this year it just happens to fall on Christmas Day.
That's cool.
Huh. The first day or the last day?
First day.
Wow,
that's
it's
cool.
isn't that
first
late?
day, the 25th.
I feel like that's really late. Isn't it
to
usually earlier?
me it's on time.
Really?
Some years it's early,
Yeah.
and you guys have to wait. We get the on sale specials before you do.
That's correct. That's exactly right.
Oh, God.
This year, we might get some of the get the returns that people didn't want.
Yep.
When the holiday
There you
starts,
go.
but it was always fun to go over to my friend's house. Christmas Day.
Yes, there will be a lot of checking of Facebook Marketplace this Hanukkah. All the people getting Christmas presents that they don't want.
Yeah. Well,
That's where we get half our stuff.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, you.
that's what you do. I can just see that the Bernards don't celebrate Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Oh, we do.
They wait. Who's returning stuff? That's
The 28th. It's the 28th this year.
Sit outside the mall, people bringing goods in. Hey, I'll take that off your hands.
It's all true. No question. God, I used to love that. Go up to Brookdale. It's not even there anymore.
No.
They tore it down, but it was the second, I believe, mall ever built. And Southdale was first, and then Brookdale, I think, was second. I believe that's how it went. But going up, it was just a beautiful shopping center. It had little fountains in it and the whole deal. It was just really, really nice. And I guess the shopping center has gone by the wayside, hasn't it? There aren't very, very many of them left, are there? And if you go, people say there's never anybody in them.
No.
Right.
I don't know. Like I've been selling off my old games finally because they've just been sitting in a closet for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So I go to this place at the Eden Prairie Mall, and I mean, when I was there, there was a lot of people there, and of all ages too.
Really?
Would you go into a GameStop there?
No, it's called High Score, I think it's called. It's like a retro game place. They'll buy all those old games and they sell them. They got every old retro thing you can think of. They got like Commodore 64s and stuff like that.
Way back.
Super duper old.
Wow.
You can find the Atari 2600 there.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, it's cool
Holy
to just
buckets.
walk around and see all these things. Like, they got like the these accessories for the NES that I've never even heard of. Yeah, it's neat to see all these things that you didn't even know existed, or
That's cool.
you haven't laid eyes on in 30 years.
Yeah. Do they have Pong?
Oh God, yeah, they got multiple. they got the Pong consoles that you hook up to the TV with a little fork, and then you screw it in, and then it just plays Pong and literally nothing else.
That was what when I was a kid.
They got
that
some
was
of
the
those,
big deal.
the TV Fun or whatever.
Yep. Oh,
Yep,
man.
they got it all, and soon they're gonna have a whole lot more. I sold all my consoles and about half of my games, and that ended up being about $700.
Wow.
Really?
So I got another half of my games to go and all my old controllers. So
See, yeah,
I was sitting on quite a bit.
my kids left me. Tommy left me his PS4.
Right.
And then Scott,
Playing some Kingdom Hearts.
whatever. We had bought the Xbox for the kids after that came out one year for Christmas.
Oh, like the original?
The original Xbox.
Yeah.
And so they said, well, we don't want these anymore when they moved out. So I still, I do like Call of Duty and whatnot on the Xbox and I've kind of been looking to get the newer games for the the PS4 version, so I can just play one console. But
Yeah. We're not, that's the other thing. It's like, sure, I could hook up all these old consoles and stuff, but then you need like 6 dedicated televisions to hooking all this crap up. And it's like,
and then you need more HDMI slots than you have.
Oh, but no, these old consoles don't have HDMI.
Oh,
they have those proprietary ones. They have composite video. So you have to buy old monitors with like the 3-color.
With the coax plug in the back.
Exactly.
Okay, I get
TVs don't even support that anymore.
No.
So now it's like you got to buy adapters or something, or you got to buy old TVs.
Wow.
And it's like, am I ever going to do this? No. I'm never going to buy a CRT monitor just so I can play my Super Nintendo like the old days.
Yeah, Disney Plus just picked up Hulu and ESPN Plus. So the other day I was screwing around. We were watching the hockey game, and I'm like, well, what's on Hulu? And there was 24 was the series, Jack Bauer, 24.
Yep.
And Cheryl says, should we dig out all those old VHS tapes that we used to have to tape 24 while I was at work?
Oh, yeah.
For me to watch later.
You got all the commercials in there because you can't edit the tape.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, first of all, we'd have to buy a VCR because we got rid of all our VCRs, and none of our TVs will plug into a VCR anymore. So how are we going to pull that one off? But yeah.
Yeah, the old stuff, it's at a certain point, it's just like you have to admit that what we have now is better.
Yeah.
Because like I can still play these old games in different ways. Like I can play them on my computer or whatever.
Yep.
And they look better. They sound better.
Yep.
I don't have to, set up a special TV for them. So it's just like,
if
I want to relive my childhood games, I can just do it that way. I don't need my old carts.
Yep. Before we finished off the basement, we'd have an old 13-inch tube TV downstairs. And a little heater because sitting right there on the concrete floor, and the kids would huddle around that heater and play N64 and all those other ones. That it was hilarious.
I love the fact Josh and I are sitting there going, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Oh, I know. I know
no
what
idea
you're
what
talking about because
do you?
we've got in the lower level of the house. We've got
all that stuff.
You got
all
kids.
that
You
stuff.
got kids my age, so you grew up, giving them.
No,
consoles
they had to buy it.
Oh,
you
want it? You want it? You buy it.
Nothing for Hanukkah, huh?
Nothing for Hanukkah.
A game each
Hold
day.
on. Shoes one day.
Oh God.
Here's the controller one day.
Yep. Here's the composite cable for the console that I have not yet given you and will not give you.
I'm depressed now. Really nice. Way to go. But honestly, I do love this time of the year for all the television, all the radio that's on. No matter what you listen to, you're hearing the good music. And I just hope people get in a better mood. I am so sick of how angry everybody is. My God, would you calm down?
Yeah, I agree.
Josh, what is that? Is that controlling the population by keeping everybody pissed off? Do they control us by doing that?
Who is they control?
The United States government. You people.
I'm this close to a tinfoil hat.
Hey,
That's right. I'm getting very close.
No, here he is. He lives in some tower. He lives in some tower by a beach near an ocean.
Yeah.
The sun comes up every morning, off the horizon, and he's probably upset. Oh, look at all my neighbors in their big boats, and I just have a little 14-foot rowboat.
A dinghy.
I
just got a dinghy. That's what I got.
Woe is me.
You know what? I'm a boat renter. I'm not a boat buyer. We had a boat for a long time, but I rent boats now. I don't buy them.
It's like it's like the old Jackie Mason joke.
Oh, I love Jackie Mason.
Let me show you my boat. Let me show you my boat. Look at this boat. Look at this boat. It's got 2 bathrooms. It's got 3 bedrooms. Let's go eat cake.
See, now that's the kind of guy I want to hang out with right there. He was amazing. God, he pissed a lot of people off, giving everybody the finger on the Ed Sullivan Show. This is for you, and this is for you, and this is for you. I thought he was hilarious. It was wonderful.
I did too.
No question about it. I mean, and look, don't get me wrong. I love Christmas. There's no question about that. But to be that young again, like Andy's age on down, right around Christmas time, what a thrill that is.
So you've got grandchildren and you're not happy about
No, I'm very, very happy about that. They're good kids. Although Ethan wouldn't talk to me last night. I don't know what I did to him, but he wouldn't talk to me last night.
He was too busy.
He was open. He was upset that he heard that all you were going to give him was underwear and socks.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
He wanted some Legos. He wanted some GI Joes.
Yeah, he's
he
young
wanted some.
Sort of
is
thing.
he into wrestling figures?
No,
The SO's
he's too young for that sort of
grandson.
thing.
Is big into the wrestling figures.
How old is he?
He is. He's 3.
Oh, wow.
He loves all the wrestling figures.
There you go.
Yeah, no, Ethan's he's largely into Yoshi, Sonic, and Mario, and then he likes all sorts of these like little cartoons that you've never heard of, like Trash Truck, which is literally a cartoon about a garbage truck, and they just go around doing stuff.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
He likes
Matt.
Oh yeah.
He likes Thomas. He has last night we were building. He has this little plastic set of tracks that you can snap together and make tracks, and then you put the trains on them and they go around them. Big fan of Thomas.
Huge. Our oldest is named Tom, so we
Thomas the Train. Is that what you call him?
We put him in he wanted to be Thomas the Tank Engine for Halloween. I bet you 5 years in a row.
Probably.
It was just he was big, and he'd carry them trains everywhere.
I had to wait till The Office came out with Andy Bernard to have a namesake on TV.
That's right. Andy Bernard was that he was on there. I still think they stole that from you.
He heard about me and just decided to make a character.
Yeah, probably somebody on the podcast 15 years ago or whatever.
We weren't doing the pod. No, first off, I'm pretty sure that was more than 15 years ago, wasn't it?
Was it?
When was that? What was the first?
We were talking about that this morning. How long ago this stuff was on?
Yeah, everything.
Oh God,
2012, wasn't it? I think that's about when I started listening.
2012 is when we started the podcast, but Andy Bernard's first episode was apparently 2006. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, it's been some time.
Andy Bernard.
Yep.
Was he Anthony Bernard, though? That's totally different.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Does he have a middle name? Yeah, he does. It's Baines, apparently.
Baines?
Yes.
Andrew Baines Bernard?
Apparently. I don't know where they mentioned that.
I don't know what that's
Also,
all
his
about
birth
either.
name is Walter.
Walter.
I don't remember any of this,
No, I don't remember any of it either.
but it's the Office wiki, so you got to trust it. Oh, he is named after the American economist Andrew Bernard. So
It's
there
Bernard.
you go.
It's B-E-R. isn't it?
Bernard, yes.
Yeah.
Professor at Dartmouth.
Look at that.
There you go.
Big shot.
Apparently, that's a thing.
So, Josh, now it's your turn to talk in phrasing we don't understand. As we, what? I'm just telling you, you're a lot smarter than we are. That's all I was saying.
Phrasing you don't understand.
The money talk.
The idea of being, we'll say, on radio or podcast is to make people understand.
It is, yes. That's why
and
I
that's
asked you to do it, not me.
that's right. I mean, I thought something was great the other day. The president-elect was down on the floor of the exchange. Actually, he was above the floor of the exchange. He got to ring the bell.
Oh, I saw
The opening bell. It was huge. So he came down from a higher office where he was awarded the Time Magazine Man of the Year for 2024. So he is on the front cover And on the back cover or the next cover is Caitlin Clark, who was awarded Athlete of the Year. And I thought, that's pretty good stuff. But the president, this is the, Trump coming down to ring the bell and then walking on the floor of the exchange, shaking hands with traders and stopping to talk to people. And that to me was great. Trump has in the past and even said today, he measures his success of his programs or policies based on how the stock market's doing. And that you can measure that every day, whether things are up or down. Since Trump took the lead in the polls, the stock market has moved generally up and not down, although it's been down 9 straight days in a row. So there's been some profit taking. The breadth of the stock market, the number of S&P stocks that are below their 50-day moving averages is right now about 400 to the 500 stocks. And at the same time, the S&P is just a little bit under an all-time record. NASDAQ just broke through 20,000 on its way up. The Dow Jones hit a new record. So those are some very positive things, or as indicators to what is, we'll say, expected or going forward, and some changes in the policies. I am excited about the potential probability that the 2017 Tax Act is going to be extended, though I don't believe Congress is going to take that up until June, and that'll give them maybe 4 months because of vacations and everything else to get a bill passed before the year is out. Because once the 2015 or 2025 concludes, we revert back to the tax rates from 2016, which would mean that you and Andy and Super Dave and I are going to see our taxes go up. The 2017 Tax Act did cut taxes, not just on the rich and not just for corporations, but for everybody in the United States. The people who actually were paying more in taxes were the rich in high tax states, because there was a limit on what you could deduct for state and local taxes.
Yeah, I remember that happening.
Was limited to $10,000.
Okay.
And the rich in high tax states like Minnesota were very, very upset about that. But it was still I'll say the liberal politicians said, well, this tax act is just a sop to the rich. The rich aren't paying their fair share. And you never get a straight answer on what the fair share is, but we'll move aside, from that. So getting the Tax Act passed, I think, is going to be a positive thing for the economy. One thing that Trump was talking about in an interview, as part of his interview, this with Jumpin' Jim Cramer, when he was on the, I'll say, on the balcony by the bell yesterday morning, was as part of the Tax Act that he was going to push for a 15% corporate tax for those corporations that manufactured products here in the United States. If you manufactured products outside the United States, you still got the 21% tax, but in an effort to encourage more, I'll say, production and manufacturing here in the United States, here's another corporate incentive. So
Yeah.
that
they,
could be a big boost again to the U.S. economy.
What incentives are they introducing for domestic manufacturing? Because that's what I want to know, because they need to start doing that.
Yep.
Well, you've got, I'll say, even under the Biden administration, you've had, which is actually a continuation of some of Trump's policies started during his first term, was the push for more manufacturing in the United States, higher tariffs to bring products in or back into the United States. You had in the CHIPS Act through the Biden administration, money going into the technology industry to build manufacturing plants here in the United States. Now, of course, to build the manufacturing plants does take a little bit of time, given some of the other rules and regulations about building, large plants. But I think that has been a trend, definitely started during the first Trump administration. One thing that was continued during the Biden administration and will be expanded again in the second Trump administration. But that could be pretty big. One thing that is really not talked about, because people talk about, well, here's manufacturing, you just think, well, I got to build a big plant that's going to make, I'll say, make widgets, among other things. I'm starting to think of a movie, Back to School.
Yep.
Let's think about this.
I knew exactly where you're going the minute you said, let's say widgets.
See, I would have said sprockets. Now, what's that from?
Spacey sprockets?
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
But in any case, it does take a while to build a plant. But most people, when they're thinking of manufacturing, do not think of all the digital manufacturing that goes on here in the United States. The amount of, I will say, software that's developed, and that does not take bigger manufacturing plants, but it does take a lot of energy, mental energy, and elsewhere.
Well, these days, most of that's done from people's houses.
Well, there's
coding at home.
There is a big push by a lot of companies to bring what is done in houses back, we'll say, back into office spaces.
I don't think they're going to succeed.
Well, I think they could partially succeed with that, but in any case, this what I'll say, the digital manufacturing that goes on, that does take place in the United States, and the United States exports a lot of that, and you don't even see that. You don't even think about that, but that is huge. I had one of my clients. I sent him an article about Taiwan Semiconductor's major or massive plant that is being completed in Arizona, I'll say in the Phoenix general area. And one of my largest holding, Apple, has a dibs on a lot of the potential chip manufacturing coming from that plant, or that'll come from that plant.
Oh, they're all going to go to Apple, Microsoft, and Google and Amazon. They're going to buy all of them.
So so he said, well, this is great. Apple is now going to be manufacturing stuff here in the United States. Apple does manufacture a lot of stuff here in the United States, but it's, we'll say, digital and not necessarily physical.
Right.
And that stuff is shipped out.
The problem is that software is useless unless you can get the chips for it, which is what happened. What was that, like 4 years ago?
Yeah, that was like 2020 that time, with the pandemic and all that other stuff. That all kind of
but there's still different chips that are still made here. But you're going to see, a lot more of that manufacturing done here in the United States.
Yep.
And I think that'll be encouraged, and that'll be a positive. I'll say the negative part of that is getting employees who are able to do the work.
Right.
So now we then fall back on our educational system.
Ooh, is that a good idea?
Well, if you're in Chicago, not so much.
Not so much.
Teachers there tend to go on strike, or their teachers union takes them on strike almost every other year.
Yeah.
They never get enough money, or the schools aren't safe enough.
Yep.
And whatever it is, they get more money because it's
And
always
nothing gets
about
better.
the kids.
Right.
Well, more money goes to the schools, but the teachers don't get it. And the students certainly don't get it.
No, that's one of the reasons why I'll say son number one and daughter-in-law and my number one and number two granddaughters decamped to Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're having a much better experience in Tampa, Florida in the last year and a half than they did in Chicago.
Better schooling, or do they homeschool?
No, it's better.
They're public schools.
The schools are open. That's the first.
The schools are open.
They're actually letting them go to school because it's safe.
The schools are, yes, they're letting them go to schools, and it's safe. And the 13-year-old is having a phenomenal experience.
Good.
No good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still Minnesota schools that are good. You just have to kind of get away from the cities.
Yeah.
Or so
I agree with that completely.
I don't know. You look at this whole situation, all the things going on now in this country, and it just, it amazes me how angry everybody is with everybody else. And I think it's our politicians doing that. I think it's Hollywood doing that. And I think it's our education system doing that.
Yep.
They're poisoning people's minds. And why do they do that? The three of you, why would our school system want to lie to their students?
You have said it millions of times. The almighty dollar.
Yeah, it's all about money.
Hold on. Well, why would the school system or teachers want to lie to students? And that the almighty dollar doesn't fit in there.
Well,
no, it's politics.
It's all politics, and they back their politicians who they think are going to give them the most money. It's how it works.
All right.
That's how I see it working anyway.
Well, so that just is saying, well, let's see, if we back somebody, we're going to take your money and we're going to redistribute it someplace else.
Well, which is basic how capitalism works anyway, right? Or not? Capitalism. That's what I'm thinking.
Capitalism?
No,
I'm not.
I'm like, you've confused me so much today.
Yeah, way to go, Josh.
Remember,
you're talking about the socialists here?
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to take from those that have to give according to their need.
But the government takes their cut of it first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the government.
Well, the government decides what you need.
Yeah,
you don't decide what you need.
Right.
That's the problem.
There it is. Thank you, Andy. You saved me again.
What I find interesting is that as I went through this,
you're a very angry person, Tom.
I'm not angry.
No,
me?
No, you're a very happy person. But Tom, you've been very, very angry.
What do you mean I'm angry? I'm not angry. Shut up. I'm not angry.
The world is not out to get you.
I didn't think it was, to tell you the truth. I just think some of the people in Minnesota are. That's a big difference.
Well, yeah. They could be. They could be.
Oh, those far lefties just.
There are a lot of people that are jealous of your success.
I guess so. It's just you wouldn't want to be happy for someone who came from nothing, would you? I mean, my life to me,
I am very happy for your success.
I know
I'm
you
happy
are.
for Andy's success, for Dave's success.
Yep.
That's what you have done, and you've succeeded to whatever you wanted to do. That's your own success. I'm happy for you. I don't care that you live in a tower in the sky.
Oh, here we go.
Overlooking the beach and the intercoastal. I don't care. I don't care that your second home overlooks a big lake on one side, and now maybe the trash dump on the other side. But
yeah,
I don't care.
Well, thank you so much.
I don't care where you live, what you drive. I just care. Are you a good person? Can we have? Can I have lunch with you or dinner with you?
I think it's a great idea.
And we're able to share, share ideas or share differences, and move on. And there are a lot of people. I do agree with you. There are a lot of people that can't do that.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that they're be all and end all is what they hear from one or two television stations, and they say, "Oh, that is it. That is it." And we have to hate, one person or a group of people just because somebody says something on one or two of these stations. And of course, the people on those two stations say, "Oh, if you listen to the third station, why you're really you're an idiot. You're a knuckle. You drag your knuckles on the ground." I'm thinking, each one of these stations does not produce news. These are opinion stations.
Yeah. Yep.
If you do not understand that Morning Joe and Mika and Rachel are opinion people, that's it. They provide an opinion. If you do not understand that Gutfeld leads or hosts an opinion show,
right? Yep.
You really are a moron.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
I'm looking. I got the glance.
Glancing
at the microphone.
For once, he didn't look at me when he said it.
It all works out in the end.
I mean, it is. That just. I'll say it. It's stupefying that people say, "Well, this is the only place to get the news," and if you get your news, these are not news shows. Yeah. They're not news stations.
No, they're not. Not at all.
I mean, even I remember Bill O'Reilly. How can you listen to Bill O'Reilly? He is a very good commentator. He happened to be a very good journalist. He's is a good writer of history. And I enjoyed listening to his opinions. And that station at the time had to bring on. I think they were losing some market share, or O'Reilly was losing some market share. All of a sudden, there are some very bright women coming on, but they're dressed in a way that
accentuates their curves.
Yes. How's that? And they wear very bright colors to catch my eye, so that I'm, wow. Oh, okay. I'm just looking at them, and I'm not hearing
what they're saying.
what they're necessarily saying.
Mm.
And I used to point that out to my wife, and she said, "Well, that's why you're watching." I said, "No, I'm trying to watch or listen to Bill O'Reilly
Right.
being
Dragged away to this.
dragged away to look at these other entertainers who are very bright. Why not just dress them in something else so that I can hear what they're saying?"
Put them in a suit so they're not quite so,
Yeah, just put
so fetching.
yes.
Fetching.
But
And
I at least recognized that.
yeah, I understand that.
But they all were there providing opinion,
Yep.
not news.
Not news.
I'll give you a little new information I found out this morning. Andy, will you look up the positioning for CNN? I believe out of the top 20 TV channels, they are dead last now. They used to be the highest rated, huge money being made by CNN, and now nobody watches them. I mean, it's really gotten sad. You got anything?
Let's see here. I think so. Top 20. Yeah, you're right. They are number 20.
God, number 20 of the top 20 TV.
What is
CNN
this
used to be.
change? Because they got a change column here, and the numbers are quite large. I don't know what the change is from, but it says CNN is down 62%.
Oh, God.
They have a rating of 0.15.
Oh, wow. That's like the KQ morning show. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
That's pretty bad. Fox News is number 4, interestingly.
Yeah. What's number 1?
Prime Video, by a lot.
Prime Video, but they don't have news on there, do they?
Well, no, this is like all the
Just the
cable and
rating.
broadcast TV networks.
Prime Video?
By quite a bit. It's got an audience of 14.4 million. CBS being number 2 is 5.5.
Wow.
So Prime Video is almost
9 million.
CBS.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that stuff is. Paramount's a good station thanks to Taylor Sheridan. He does all their stuff, doesn't he?
He does all their stuff. Would it exist
Literally.
without Taylor Sheridan?
Probably not.
Wonder
A
what
lot of
the-
that.
how
A
far
lot of
does
that
this go?
What?
How far does this go down? It's 121, so I think it's all of them, every single cable and broadcast TV network.
And
Number
who's in
121 would be Sports Espanol with 1,000 viewers.
Oh.
Not doing so.
Not doing so hot.
Not doing so great. Well, there's a lot of down here. Gala Novelas, CNN Espanol, Discovery Familia. I don't know what comedy.tv is, but apparently they're not doing great.
Well, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be splitting off their linear and their streaming business,
Yeah. They
and
don't want it anymore.
that has helped to or did help to boost their stock a little bit. Paramount eventually got sold or is going to get sold at a much lower price. The leading, I'll say the leading almost media company is Netflix.
Yeah, oh, it is absolutely.
Yeah, it's high up there.
And at least their stock has been in fuego. I'll say the second leading streamer is Disney Plus, and Disney owns a good. I think they own about 2/3 of Hulu. Comcast owns the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Comcast wants to spin off CNBC, MSNBC, and a few of their other little networks as separate. Thinking, why are you going to do that? There's the viewership on those are so small, makes no sense whatsoever unless they're hoping that somebody else is going to buy them. There has been talks that Fox is going to acquire again a few other I'll say networks just to boost them up.
Okay.
But media stocks are not
Not what you want to go into.
not
Nope.
what you want to go into right now.
Well, look at it. Newspapers are worthless now. Broadcast TV is worthless now. Broadcast radio has maybe 5 years left. That's about it.
You think it's that much?
It might not be that much. I think that's on the outside. I mean, it's all the stuff that we grew up with is just going away. Even the stuff that Andy grew up with is going away.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching TV. The streaming didn't exist until I was much older. So, I grew up watching Nickelodeon and that sort of thing. And no, that's, it's a thing of the past, really.
Well, I mean, Josh told me yesterday, I was talking to him on the phone, he said, God, what are we going to do without the Playboy channel?
There was
I said, I don't know,
Playboy
Josh.
channel?
Yeah,
Is that even-
there still is a Playboy channel.
Oh.
Is there really? I was
Yeah,
just
there's
kidding. I
still-
didn't even know that.
There still is a Playboy channel.
Wow.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, but there's
Still money to be made, I guess.
there still is his estate, but there still is the brand, and there still is a Playboy channel.
I did not know that.
Huh.
There's still a Playboy channel. You can find it on, I don't know, Roku? Where do you find it?
I imagine the average age of the Playboy consumer is probably rather high.
I would think so.
I would think so.
I don't know. It's listed. It's I know it's a pay-per-view type thing, but the Playboy channel does exist, and it shows up on my Comcast because I'm still a Comcast subscriber. I
There
still
you
like
go.
having my Comcast box with my multiple clickers because I like that. I can, just sit on the couch. Well, let's see. I want to just switch through here. Oh, well, there's nothing here. I'll go to the streaming channels and see what they have. And that's a lot more difficult. Oh, well, let me try this. No, then nope, I can't go to that. I have to get out of that to go to try something else.
Good Lord.
It is
A
true.
lot of work.
It's a lot of work with streaming.
Sounds like too much work.
All right. Any closing words, gentlemen? God, we only got one more week left till the Christmas break. What do you think of
One
that?
more week.
Action?
We can
Left in
actually
the
add
year.
the Hanukkah break to that one.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna
right.
have Hanukkah.
We're going to be lighting our lamps.
Call that full
Takes a
circle.
while, so we have to start it early.
Yep.
Got to make sure we have just enough oil for 8 days.
I suppose kerosene wouldn't count as oil, would it?
I don't know what kind of oil they used back then. That's a good question. It certainly wasn't petroleum based, I wouldn't think.
Olive oil.
Olive oil?
They just burned olive oil? Really?
That might smell a lot, but
It might. Well, no. Actually, olive oil burning is very bad smelling. If you ever cook with olive oil, you do it high heat.
Yeah, no.
Not,
oh,
not,
it's
not good.
yeah, the red trucks come right to your house.
Yeah,
The red trucks. There you go.
The,
You didn't have a Tonka toy. You didn't have a Tonka toy
Oh, yeah. I had a ton of
fire
toys.
fire truck.
I didn't have a fire truck. I had the dump truck that I could stand in the back of that.
Yep.
Dump
I mean, it was yellow. You had
Oh,
you
yeah,
had
I
the
had the
yellow
yellow
one.
it was all metal, so I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
They did in fact burn olive oil.
Wow.
So there you go. You were right.
It's got a reek.
I would imagine so. Well, that's why you have the frankincense to mask it.
Yeah, there you go.
Incense, peppermint.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for mankind.
All right, boys. He's singing. Time to go.
It's time to go.
We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, here, before you go, here
Yes,
are
sir.
a few things, just
Okay.
in terms of investments. If
All
you
right.
have not taken your required minimum distribution from your IRA, please contact your IRA sponsor as soon as possible. Also, if you have not maxed out your 401k for this year to get the maximum tax deduction, do so now before December 31st.
I don't know what any of that means. Am I too young to
I
know
know,
what
I
that
know the
means?
IRA part and the 401k part. I
Well,
have the IRA.
if you have to take money from your IRA, if you are
Drawing on
above
Oh.
7 and a half,
Okay.
or above, depending on your birth date,
Okay.
above 73, you have to start taking money from
So
your
that doesn't
IRA.
affect me yet.
So that's your required minimum distribution.
Well, so what happens if you
RMD.
don't take
If you
it?
don't take it, you could be subject to a tax penalty for not taking it.
That makes no. So I put my own money away, and then they get
There
to tell
is
me
a
what to do with
rule
it, or they can
that when you
steal it.
hit at your age, it's age 70, 73, you have to start taking money from that IRA.
Yeah, by the time I get there, it's going to be 93.
I'll be dead by the time I hit 73.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Well, it's
Well, then
rather pessimistic.
then your beneficiaries are going to have to start taking some money out of that. The 401k for people who work for, small or large businesses, you can put a maximum in and you get a tax deduction based on putting that money in. If you have not put the maximum in, they get a very nice tax benefit before the calendar year. Do so now before you got a few weeks left to do that. If you're putting money into an IRA, you have at least until the time you file taxes, which would be to next April 15th. Hence, put the money away and put the money into, if you're putting money into a 401k or even an IRA, make sure you put it into the most aggressive choice, which typically is going to be an S&P index fund.
That's everything.
That's everything.
Magnificent. We will talk to you next week.
We will be next week.
Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking.